Hello everyone, this is Mr. Informal back with the latest and greatest Mr. Informal Podcast. We are on the podcast 178. Yes, 178. I hope you are healthy. You are doing great today. Certainly, I hope you are enjoying fall or even winter, whatever you want to call this season. And certainly, again, I hope you are enjoying life in general. So please do not forget to add me on Instagram, MISTERINFORMAL, and check out my website, mrinformal.com, mrinformal.com. So what are the 4 topics for the Mr. Informal Podcast? Well, number 1, delayed merchandise. Meaning that the merchandise are still stuck in the port, or it could be production. They're not going to be in your store on time. Number 2, Adidas gets into metaverse. Everyone seems to be getting onto it. You know what? I may make a metaverse. We'll see. Or I should just call it alpha verse. Number 3, rising prices. Yes, a lot of stores opt to rise prices instead of giving the savings to you. And last but not least is that pandemic work. Yes, we are almost finished with this, but all these, I'm sure you're hearing it, lockdown, mandates, is really hard for stores to find people to work. Not only that, all this policy thing does not make sense, but we'll get into that later on. So those are the 4 topics for this Mr. Informal Podcast 178, and so let's go ahead and start the podcast. So topic number 1 is delayed merchandises. Basically all the seasonal stuff that you will see in your stores are not going to be on time. So this article is from retail.com, titled "Nearly Half of Victoria's Secret's Merchandise is delayed as the holidays approach." In its first earnings period from splitting from L Brands this year, Victoria's Secret on Wednesday reportedly the third quarter sales rose 6.5 to $1.4 billion year over year. That's pretty good. According to company press release, sales fell 9% compared to nearly $1.6 billion in the third quarter of 2019, reflecting the closure around 260 stores since that time. Net income was $75.2 million, down from $143.3 million. Going to the season, the company ordered around 200 million units of product, and 90 million units are held up. Wow, that's 40% of product. According to CEO Martin Waters, that's 45% of our purchase requirements for the fall season delayed. Waters said, on-call analyst. Well, look, first and foremost, Victoria's Secret is not the only brand out there that's basically having this type of problems. A lot of brands do. Go to the mall, you can see, and it could be stuck in the port. It could be the factory overseas. It could be the factory here in the US. It could be a number of factors basically, or you can even say materials are factoring in. So basically all the items or all the stocks that is prepared for Christmas season, or even you can say Thanksgiving season, are not 100%. They are probably most likely, I'm being generous, 50%, 60%. So all of that, and it becomes a domino effect, because what happens is it's not just the units, it's also this the sales, the revenue, the profit is down, especially when they do their earnings call for the for next year, fourth quarter earnings call, and so they're probably not gonna hire as many people. I will talk about that in the 4th topic. And they're not gonna have a lot of products to market in terms of marketing, social media, or even billboards, or even just ads in front of the store. Not only that, you're gonna have less scarcity. Also, prices will go up, and I will talk about that later. So again, it could be many factors. And I'm not surprised by it. I'm sure you've heard me talk about this many times way before the podcast, that even earlier this year I was talking about, even you better early this year I said that go ahead and just order your Christmas product now, because you never know. You're gonna have congestion on the port, at the port, and you're gonna have a lot of number of factors. So, but hey, maybe I'm the only one who's thinking of that. Maybe no one thought of that. Everyone is still seasonal, whatever. But now they're taking the heat, and so, and look, if we're just strictly talking about Victoria's Secret, they don't really need all that product. I mean, it's women's underwear, undergarments, and so. But I do agree that when it comes to the Christmas shopping or even Black Friday or Thanksgiving, a lot of people do go to Victoria's Secret just for the savings alone. And that is certainly one thing that Victoria's Secret was banking on, because that makes them a lot of money. On to topic number 2 from High Snob, titled Adidas made a very mysterious entry into the metaverse. High Snob always have odd titles. So Adidas has quietly entered the metaverse with a mysterious digital collectible. The footwear giant directed members of Adidas confirmed an app drops and exclusive content, the Pope Proof of Attendance Protocol, a platform that event organizers can use to distribute crypto badges, essentially NFTs, to attendees. Adidas POAP doesn't seem to commemorate a specific event, but rather a function way to identify its most loyal followers, members to confirm app. For those you in search of new playgrounds where possibilities are limitless, we invite you to join us as we voyage into the metaverse, Adidas wrote. The digital collectibles is our way of rewarding you for following your curiosity. This token proves you were here before the beginning of this journey. Keep it safe, it may come in handy. So, they joined the metaverse, they also joined crypto, they also joined NFTs and tokens. I guess you can say this is the membership benefits. And so everyone is getting into metaverse, but what does this mean into Adidas? And certainly Adidas has a huge following and a huge product collection, such as Nike, and Nike is also getting into the metaverse. And so, but strictly talking about Adidas, certainly whether it be experience in training or virtual training, providing new collectibles and new tokens, new membership, or maybe a special virtual event, a virtual experience, I guess you can say, or any type of product launches such as marketing, it will all happen into the app. And so it's going to be, I guess it's more of an interactive experience from what it seems like, and that's what metaverse is doing. Basically a metaverse is basically you're providing an experience and also products and showcase. That's what it is. It's multiple factors of certain type of services, whatever it may be. Certainly money is going to be involved, but with Adidas product collection or even product catalog, it's massive. And so I think when you have a bigger product collection, a lot of companies will benefit from the metaverse. I would not be surprised if Under Armour also gets in it too. Certainly Under Armour needs to get in it, or they will lag behind as usual. And it's not just going to be sports product, as I said. I'm sure Victoria's Secret is probably going to get in it, as I was just talking about that in the first topic. And so this is just another step for Adidas to create a digital presence or even mobile presence into the market. And certainly a lot of their customers are going to like this, and that specific sentences that they said, keep it safe, it may come in handy. Now, will it have some type of value? Maybe. You never know. Although one company that I do think should get into metaverse is Starbucks. I do think that they will probably get in there. On to topic number 3 from Supply Chain Dive website. Retailers opt to hike prices in the face of supply chain issues study. That is the title of the article. Basically, rising prices, and that is presented to the customers. Going to the holidays, 98% survey retail executives said they are experiencing supply chain issues, according to a new study from First Insight in the Wharton School Baker Retailing Center. A full 100% said that the supply chain disruption will affect upcoming holiday season significantly or somewhat and will last at least 2022. To mitigate increased costs from challenges, 59% of the executives said they were increasing product price or shipping costs for consumer, and 36% were taking a margin hit to keep prices level. Just 2% did not anticipate cost increase in the company, according to the study. Well, there you go. 59%, or let's just say 60%. While as the government spends more money, money becomes invaluable. Also, we're having supply chain issues, material supply. Everything is increasing due to the inflation, scarcity, also priority. And so there's a lot of factors that is going on. And so who gets the brunt of it? Well, the customers do. We are the customers. I'm a customer. You're a customer. Everyone is a customer. And so when the product is there, don't be surprised if the price increased by $10 to $40 or $50 depending on the product. If it's electronics, it could be $100 or it could be a couple $100 increase in price. And so, I mean, here's the thing. What if the challenges, the problems of supply chain, materials, or even manpower is become normalized? Then what? Are the prices gonna go back up again? I don't think so. I think these brands are gonna keep those prices because they're gonna say, well, the customers are willing to pay the price, so why don't we keep the price? You see, I don't like that, and I know that the rising prices was going to be expected, but what's gonna happen here is that these brands are gonna keep the same price or these raised price when this becomes when this all becomes over. You know, like I said, they're all gonna say, well, the customer bought it at that price. And so where you should keep that price, it would be a higher margin for us. I truly hope that backfires on them because I don't like that. I don't want that to happen. But you know that it will happen. They're always going to find some certain excuses. And the worst part about it is that these companies probably got government aid last year or even earlier this year. And so it's a whole mess. And as a customer myself, I really do not like this. That's why I just try not to buy at the full retail price or full price. I just like to buy it on sale when it becomes on sale. And so it becomes ridiculous because these brands are going to take advantage of us consumers. They always think that we're willing to pay the whatever amount of price. But again, hopefully it backfires on them. But one of the paragraphs in the article, it says that vaccine, job upticks, and government stimulus have all led to a demand surge this year. Going to the holidays, retail sales are strong that even disastrous sudden slowdown in sales in the latter months of 2021 would still make a record or near record season, according to Wells Fargo analyst. All of which is good news for retailers, but the demand surge has put unprecedented pressure on supply chains, which are still operating constrained capacity after last year's sudden implosion of demand and have been disrupted by the China virus outbreaks around the world. You see, we keep talking about that, but again, all these policies state, and I'm just strictly talking about the U.S. All these different types of policies, mandates, and all these lockdowns in different states today is just making it hard. So, also, these countries can't make up its mind. It seems like this China virus has become endemic, and it could be one of the causes. But again, I would not be surprised if these raised up price suddenly becomes the norm after all of this is said and done. And so on to the fourth topic. So as you know that we still have the pandemic going on, certain countries in Europe are going on lockdown, such as Austria, whatever you want to pronounce it. And so I wouldn't be surprised if certain other countries follow suit. Strictly talking about the US, this whole China virus is mixing up with the flu or other flus, what cold, whatever you want to call it. And so it's putting a strain on basically employment. We're not back at 100%, or we're not even back to 2019 levels of employment. And so it's hard for companies to find people. But again, these companies are not doing themselves a favor because they are supporting certain mandates or certain government policies or governor policies, which doesn't make sense to me. I'll give you one example. Is that why is it that when you go to the store, they tell you, oh, you must have mask on, you must be vaccinated, so and so, and yet when you're in the store, there's no 6 feet type of separation. I don't get it. And all these surgical masks are not really protecting. They're just probably protecting from dust. They're not really protecting from inhaling actual viruses or contagions. And so you got certain percentage of the workforce that don't want to go back to work because this is not over yet. You got certain percentage of a workforce that feel like they are wanting to find different type of career or changing career path. And then you got the different type of people who are now working but are feeling unsafe because of the store policies or the company policy where they are, which does not make absolute sense. And so when you're factoring all of those, why do you think you also see these signs? We are hiring, we want you, whatever, and yet I believe, and this is just my opinion, that they only have to blame themselves because they are. First of all, I believe that when you have certain leadership at local government that don't know what is going on, don't know how to be decisive, don't even look at the information that they have. I'm talking about absolute information, whether it be good, bad, heaven or hell, whatever it may be. They're not looking into that. And so everyone wants to save face. Everyone thinks they want to do better, and yet they are not. We have not changed from where we were last year. And even before this whole China virus was happening, what about the flu? People were coming into work with the flu and getting other people infected. And so I don't understand. And then you also have people where they don't seem to understand that the regular flu actually do kill people. And we suddenly forget about malaria, how it's still the number one human killer in the world. And yet we don't talk about it. But it's one of those things that it's inconsistent, it's hypocritical. I guess this is why that we are still don't have enough workforce in many stores out there, or even just office, whatever you want to call it. Everyone is trying to save face, everyone's blaming this, blaming that, and yet I believe that if you are, a boss or a CEO, you gotta look at the information that you have, good, bad, and then you make it decisive. You gotta keep it consistent, you gotta keep it strong. What do you want to do? You want to be safe? Well, certainly not everyone is safe. even if you do have the full vaccine, even with the boosters, I mean, you can still get sick. Heck, even with the regular flu, even when you did get vaccinated, you still get sick. I got sick even after getting vaccinated, from just the regular flu, like way before that. That was back in, I think, 2017, where I got sick that whole season. And so it's a mess right now. Certainly people are divided, but I think the information should be consistent and people should make a sound decision, especially when you are understaffed. And so that basically concludes this Mr. Informal Podcast 178. I hope you enjoy listening to me from beginning to end. Hopefully I gave you some insights, made you learn something new. And again, I appreciate that you listen to me. In any case, please do not forget to add me on Instagram, MISTERINFORMAL. And then check out my website, mrinformal.com, MRINFORMAL.com. And so, again, this concludes the podcast 178, and I will see you in the next podcast. Bye-bye.